Hello everybody, October 31st, 2022. Happy Halloween. Let's take a look at Bitcoin and what I said on Friday. So we had potentially gone back into kind of a more impulsive looking structure. It exceeded the expectations I had for it, hit that 20.9 area, and pulled back into that 20K area. So I was leveraged longed on that Bitcoin again at that point. I've got my spot buys that I did from about 18.8. But I said, bigger picture, bulls really need to keep the price above 20K until they can get these 5 waves up to 22. And at this point, they've done that so far. We're still above 20K, but we are not really doing the low time frame picture that I had here. I was looking at this as sort of being in that third wave already, hitting 21.1 to 21.3. Now technically it did hit that. It hit just about 21.1. So I was right about that, but wrong about the pullback afterwards, basically. Even so, there wasn't anything imminently bearish on the chart, and there is not anything imminently bearish on the chart again right now. So let's just dive in. So back here, basically I was looking for this, this was the bounce here up into, Friday. I was looking for this to continue upwards to give us this target. And so that's why I was saying, 21.1 was going to be achievable, because that should have been actually third wave there. That would have, the third of the third, that would have been like 1, 2, and then, 3 would have gone up there. So this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is what I was looking for. Obviously, we've come down away from that now. And so that is unlikely. Now, that being said, it does look like we are just doing a 3-wave move down. And this initial move was 3 waves. So I pulled a fib extension. I'll show you from here to the bottom of A up to the top of B, and that gives us a target for this of anywhere between about 2450 all the way down to 20,000, give or take. And I was even going to give it a little bit of room to kind of break that previous low if it wanted to before going up. And then what's really important from there is just how the bounce looks. Whoops, I'm gonna keep that on, change this to green. So I did a video for members over the weekend going over this. And so I put on here, what does the bounce from 20K look like? That is really the question that we need to answer. And that bounce could be happening right now, or we may be in store for one more low. I'm kind of in the camp of probably getting one more low. And then realistically, this question becomes very, very important. If the bounce looks like this, the red arrows, that's 3 waves, and then we go down to new lows. Or best case scenario, we go down to test this diagonal line. And it could still do 5 waves in a diagonal from there. But if we break that diagonal line, then we're going down to new lows. Alternately, if the bounce off of 20K looks like this green arrow and gives us 5 waves up, then we've got, once again, reason to believe that we are going up from here. And essentially what that would do is just reset this 4th wave. So I had 4th wave here. The action has been really choppy though, so I'm anticipating a resetting of that 4th wave basically. I'm sorry, that's this 4th wave here. It's the 4th wave within the 3rd wave. So that is still possible. The bulls still have a chance, basically, is what the moral of the story is. So if we can get down, 20K, 5 waves up, we can still then get this area for 3 in an impulse. As much as this doesn't really look impulsive, maybe, it is so far holding onto the fibs it needs to hold on to. So as long as we kind of hold above that 20K area, push up here next, then come down, we can do an impulse, which would be a much, much better look for Bitcoin versus breaking down through 20K. Then our best chance is holding like 19.5-ish at that diagonal and doing a fifth wave up from there. That fifth wave wouldn't get as high, it'd be this blue one. And it would be a diagonal, so we couldn't be as assured that the bottom is in. And it also opens up the possibility, as I said, of a breakdown below that, which means we then head down to new lows. I was waiting for this down here. It ended up truncating. In the bullish interpretation, it truncated that. Instead of hitting this target, it just went short, basically. So there's still plenty of room for this to come back down and go sub 17.8 if it wants to. But for now, you know, I am giving the bulls the benefit of the doubt still to continue playing this out. And let me just show you on the 5-minute chart what I'm looking at here, just low time frame. There's really nothing overtly bearish about this. It looks most like A, B, C, A, B, C, and then it doesn't really look like we have an A, B, C here. So either we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, we get a new low, or we get A, B, C, and we get a new low, locally anyway. So I think that's reasonable to expect. And then I'll just look, I'm probably not going to do anything overnight, but I'll look tomorrow at the action. If we start pressing down like overnight into this area and then I wake up and I see it down there, I may go ahead and long just for shits and giggles. See if it can actually do something useful, and then the stop would be below that diagonal trend line basically. So risk reward is still pretty good for longs in that 20K area, with an average down if needed around 19,750, maybe 19,600, and then a stop out below that line there. That's kind of how I'm going to play it. All right, so what I want to do is actually change that label to a WXY because I think that looks more appropriate for what it's currently doing, which means we have an ABC within Y that we're waiting for, and I don't know if this B wave is done or not, but let's assume that it is. If it's done here, we're looking for 19.8 to 20,200 for that C of Y, with the ideal target being the 1.0 at 19,960. So, you know, again, right around that 20K area is what I'm expecting from this, and, you know, taking out stops below. Bitcoin really loves to do this. Crypto's been doing this all over the place now. We had a high here, we took out the stops above it, and then started heading down. We have a low here. I would definitely say it's certainly possible we take out that low, hit 19,960, and then rebound from there. Now, again, we're just going to have to wait and see. Is it the red rebound or is it the green rebound that we get from that point? And if B goes higher, you know, overnight this pushes up a little bit higher, then this just gets dragged up, and the green box would get dragged up a little bit then as well. And that could potentially keep it above 20K, but for now, let's just keep that like that, and that's what I'm going to be looking for. One more move down, and then we'll see how the next bounce forms and go from there. I think that sums everything up. So you guys all have a good rest of your night. I will talk to you all on Friday. We'll see how this plays out. And if we have any answers on the short-term direction or mid-term direction of Bitcoin at that point, I am still bullish on it in the long term. All right, everybody, take care.